How you doing, everybody? Nick DiVirgilio here, and today's video is one snare drum, 10 different sounds. Yeah, cool. Now, I've done a lot of snare drum videos here at Sweetwater, and I say this and I do believe it, it's great for drummers to have a bunch of snares in their arsenal. Different sounds, especially if you're a studio musician, you want to have those sounds to be able to give the client what they're looking for and make it easy to find those different sounds. And really, the snare drum, along with the kick and the hi-hat, are the most important drums in your drum set. The snare drum especially, right? That's the main focus, the backbeat of the song. So it's great to have different sounds to go to and get. Now, let's also face it that not every person has the ability to have a bunch of snare drums in their collection. You know, life gets in the way and you might not have the money to go buy a bunch of snare drums. So have one good snare drum and to be able to manipulate it to get different sounds is totally doable, and that's what this video is about today. So I have drumsticks. We're going to detune the snare to get it a different sound. We're going to use different implements like these cajon brushes, Vic Firth Talawans, and some roots, the plastic dowels. I also have a couple things from Big Fat Snare. I have some brushes, true tone dampeners, and a trusty splash cymbal. So let's get started. Okay, sound number one, the main snare sound. This is where it's tuned up high and it feels really good under the hands. This particular snare drum, the Thomas Starphonic aluminum snare, is fantastic, has a great crack to it. So here's sound number one. Good sound for fast-paced rock music, ska, anything like that. Reggae would be really cool with a snare drum up this high. This metal drum has a nice ring and sustain to it. But now let me detune it a bit and give you a totally different sound. All right, sound number two. I've detuned the snare drum about maybe a quarter half turn on each of the lugs, and I've loosened the snare wires quite a bit. Sound number two. Really cool, fat, thuddier sound, great for metal, hard rock, drive-in music. Let's get to sound number three. All right, sound number three. I've retuned the snare drum back up a little bit. I've kept the snare wire tension really loose, and I've grabbed some of these true tone dampeners here. Similar to moon gel, you could use gaff tape, stuff like that, but a little goes a long way. So I'm going to take just one of these guys. This is going to dry up the sound quite a bit. Around maybe, I don't know, just right next to one of the tuning rods, just off of the rim. This is sound number three. That's quite a different sound, way drier. A lot of the sustain from the shell has been taken away from the dampening. If you don't want as much of the dampening, have the dampener touch a little bit of the rim, maybe half and half, and the head. These true tone dampeners are really cool because they're nice and sticky, and you can have just a little bit on each part. See, so now the shell is doing its thing and ringing just a little bit, just not as much as if it was totally wide open. All right, let's get to sound number four. All right, the next few sounds, you might think of these as no-brainers, but a great way to change up your snare drum sound is to use different implements. Sound number four is brushes. sound number 5, Vic Firth Talawans. Sound number 6, some Vic Firth Root 505s. Sound number 7, some Vader cajon brushes, a little bit of dampening, and a little bit of detuning. Here we go. We're up to sound number 8. This one, the drum is tuned back up to its original pitch, nice and cracky like this. One of the easiest ways to get a big fat snare drum sound is to use this from Big Fat Snare. Here we go. Up to sound number 9 now, again from Big Fat Snare, and this is Big Fat Snare with some jingles on it. Let's have some fun. Finally, up to sound number 10. Get yourself a little splash cymbal. This is an 8-inch Meinl Byzance splash. Put it on your snare, instant drum and bass snare drum sound. There you have it, everyone. One snare drum, 10 different snare drum sounds. Now, you could get a lot more than just 10 out of one drum. This was 10 different things, some different sticks, some different implements, a splash cymbal, some of the things from Big Fat Snare, but you can go to town. You can get a wallet and put it on the side of the snare drum. That makes for a great fat snare drum sound. Different head combinations for sure. Aluminum drums do really great with dry snare drum heads, like the HD or the ST Dry from Evans. So there's tons of options from one single snare drum to get the sound you are looking for. Thanks a lot for watching this video.